As great as it was to have Char back for episode 2 of Gundam, we really should probably move ahead with our new protagonist and see what old Machu's up to. Machu and the gang. As we get back to the present day, hello one and all, this is Ironcaster here to hit on and talk about a little bit of Mobile Suit Gundam because, well, I might as well do something with the channel, right? Anyway, so episode 3. I've got notes. I've got a whole page of notes. Holy crap! I didn't realize I was going to take like as many notes as I did during this, which all things considered is probably not a bad thing to have. I mean, you want to have people paying attention. Maybe not so, maybe not to the point where someone might feel like they need to I gotta make sure I keep track of all these things, but it's really not that bad here. Uh, it kind of doesn't help the fact that we had an episode that was just completely unrelated to our current plot, or loosely related, I guess would be the proper term. But no, we are back with it now, as we are getting back into the swing of things, and we pick back up with the after effects of episode 1, in which we find out that our good old boy Xavier is currently imprisoned. Yeah, no, as it turns out, it turns out the MPs of the colony of don't tend to take very likely to Xeon showing up and deciding to show off all their fancy new toys and doodads as all that happens to turn out. Which and so he gets arrested. We get this we get this nice little mug shot of him getting all beat up and hurt up. Which fair enough. He's in a lot of ways he's almost kind of forgettable for a minute there because he's not Machu. He's not the character that we're really following along with. And so I do wonder what's going to happen with his character going forward because ultimately he's a character that sort of gets kind of pushed aside where it's almost like his character largely existed solely to pass off the Gundam to Machu. So we'll have to see what happens with him going forward because he wasn't able to use the new type system. He wasn't able to activate the gun to its full effect, but Machu was. So the question is going to be again, where's his character going? I kind of like his character, but he's he sadly just kind of blends into it with the rest of them. Uh, which brings into all this other little political red tape of like, well, the Xeon forces can't demand him back because well he wasn't supposed to be there, and so we have to like kind of play it by the book. We have to be a little crafty, which all things considered, it's just pretty decent enough way to go about things. And our little crew's like, well, what are we gonna do? We can't just go in there and demand him. And Shalia Ball's like, don't worry, like I'm here to be the awesome guy. I'm gonna solve all your problems. Don't you worry. And it's kind of unfortunate because like all the crew here sort of blend together for me, where it's like they're all sort of kind of blend in, and you kind of they all exist to be there. Machu's oddly enough, after everything that happened last episode, seems pretty passive, pretty okay. Like she's kind of back to the normal swing of things, and I don't know. It's kind of odd with her, where she seems so perfectly normal, so used to this, that I do wonder if there is something more to Machu than we've been led on to believe. She's certainly not your atypical type of character, but she's also not like all your regular Gundam protagonists where they're just like kind of whiny kids. It's like, no, she's kind of this go up and go get him sort of character. And also, as an aside, the colors choices with this show, the way this is all colored, the way this is all shaded, the choices of the reds and greens, it pops. I love the look of it. And plus, she's got this really round head, which kind of makes her really endearing. She's got a lot of great emotion that you can kind of show off with a character like her. Uh, and so yeah, she's just kind of like go back home, like, oh yeah, no, don't worry, I'm totally gonna go back to be the normal character. Don't you worry, mom. Uh, Show goes on. We're gonna go. We're going back with the Pomeranians, which is like the clan bat name, which is such a weird choice because they don't have one. And so like, well, we can't get into this thing. We can't really get too much more into the GQuuuuuuX, which is like apparently a placeholder name. Which I have to imagine they ran through so many different test models that they was like it's tacking on letters. So it was like, don't worry about the fact there's 6 U's. It just roll with it, guys. We have to kind of go with that. And Machu's like, well, do you really need me, or can I go now? I sort of have a curfew, and that's kind of lead to some problems because they're like, well, we can't have a kid doing climbat for us that has a bedtime. No, this is ridiculous. But by the end of this, we're gonna have to like get there. We move ahead a little bit, and yeah, we get to see we get to see more of the clanbat crew, the Pomeranians, and they all kind of blend in. Although we have the great leader there who's really got a great look to her as well. And again, it's that use of like the greens and reds that really make her character pop. She's this kind of suave, confident leader, this kind of team mom that knows exactly what to do and is able to instill this confidence in others. Which kind of makes you like her. Really, there's not a whole lot of dislikable characters in the show so far. At least none that have bothered me anyway. There we go. Then you see like the greens and reds. It's like the color choice of this show, which considering Gundam's usually like whites, blues, and reds, it's kind of a decent enough change. I don't get a problem with that. The show goes on. Machu's, taking the bath, but we're not going to get into that because she's just like, oh yeah, mom's going to go be negligent and she's got work to do. Oh yeah, and then Shalia Bull just like is like the total Giga Chad of this show. And he's like, we're just gonna break into the colony. We're gonna have our ship floating in the middle of the colony because in the very middle of it there's no gravity, which is this cool little touch to detail, which you might not think about it, but realistically it's like, well, in that dead center of the rotating colony, there should theoretically be no gravity, no artificial gravity to affect it, so it's not getting sucked down to the planet, to the colony walls itself. Yeah, that's kind of cool, and it looks good. Something about that green, I love it. They kind of burst in. They're like, we're gonna do our own things because we got Shalia Bull, and we're here to be the characters that you just love to see doing stuff. While this is all going on, Machu's sort of in school and realizes like, hey, there's gonna be like some. Do we have this here? No. Anyway, Machu's basically getting a little flash of the new type resonance, or the Kira as they call it, and realizes, hey, I've totally seen this before. It was like on some some graffiti. Yeah, someone else has been this. But while this is all going on, Nian, our delivery girl, is getting her next job, and she's basically being told, hey, you better not mess this up, otherwise you're fired. You're not going to be getting any more of these jobs. She's like, oh, there we go. So here's Machu. She's kind of having her little, sad moment. She's like, oh, I don't quite get all this. Realizes, wait a minute, I've seen all this before. I gotta go. And there she sees it. She sees the flash. She's like, this is all just like when I saw that weird new type thing. She's, she's it's a bit of an interesting touch on it because in Gundam past we usually would have all this military people to come in and explain it, but here we basically have street kids that are trying to figure this all out for themselves. They don't know all the stuff that the Gundam fans know, that the audience knows, that the military knows. To them, they're just coming up with their own lingo for this stuff. They're all trying to figure out ways to understand this, finding out ways to come to terms with all this. Like, what is this that we've seen? What is this we're feeling? This next step in Gundam, it's the next step of human evolution, the new types. I guess in all the deep lore of Gundam, don't worry about it, guys. It's just face psychics. And so we're being met with this. She's like, oh my god, I've seen this before. Then we get to see this. We get to see the the other guy here. Shuji Ito is his name, and he is totally in no way going to be the sort of male romantic interest of this show that connects with her in that new type way that you know, it makes her feel all warm and fuzzy, and she's there blushing. She's like, oh my god, he 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 gets me in a way that no one else gets. Oh look, and there he is. Look, she's got the round head. She's really super short. She's cute. There's an innocence to it where that kind of works, and you don't have it to the same way that a lot of the Gundam protagonists in the past have necessarily dealt with this stuff to where they've been just kind of whiny. No, I like Machu. I want to see her. I want to see her character more, and so far I'm down with this. But while this is all going on, we wind up having where we got. Oh, we've wound up with a familiar bicycle, and we get Nian showing up to do a delivery. While this is going on, it's like, well, hey, I was trying to get some answers on the Force that I don't understand. All right, well, unfortunately, all this happens, and his last coin for gets knocked into the water, so he can't pay for the delivery. Well, now Nian has a problem with this. He needs this so he can presumably pilot his mobile suit and be able to battle with it. And Machu, of course, she wants answers and she wants to get her phone fixed. So we now have the conflict that's brought everyone together. So now we have to have everyone come to terms with this. We have to get this plan going forward. Which, hey, cool, I'm all here for this. And plus, also as a side, like we got a good little residence of colors here. We got the blue, the red, and the black. Each one of them stands out and has a very unique profile to them, where you're not getting these characters blending together. All good and all. It's like, oh, hey, by the way, it's like, well, since I don't have, and by the way, he's by the way, what's his name? Shuji. Sorry, I gotta refer to my notes, guys. Shuji, who's been apparently doing nothing but huffing spray paint all this time, as he's tagging all this stuff, is like, hey, so you guys want to come down into the sewers with me? Like, I swear I'm totally not like a creepy stoner guy who has drugs. Do you have drugs? And Machu's like, I totally trust you. Like, let's go find out about this. We're not gonna take. She's like, oh, but they're total idiots. I don't know how I'm gonna do all this. So we go down, and as you see, he's got everything tagged. This is his home. This is where he lives. We go, and he's got the red Gundam. So, which is bringing up a whole new mystery here too, because how did he get this, and what happened with Shark? There's a big mystery going on here that I don't know what's going on. I want to know what's going on more. Why does he have this, and what happened at the Battle of Solomon? Was it Solomon? Or no, it was the Battle of Aboaku. Like, why did this disappear? What happened there? We frankly don't know, and so we've got a good enough mystery to kind of keep me intrigued with this because, well, what happened to one of my favorite characters in the show? We got to find out what's going on with that. But but hey, as it so happens, he's got a Gundam, she's got a Gundam. We can go battle. We can get our money. And like, wait, we're gonna make this all work, guys. But of course, while that little A plot's going on, we've got to have Shalia Bull doing some great stuff and remind us that, oh yeah, Xavier is still here, and so he's all captured. And you remember what I was saying about the member berries? Yeah, because as it turns out, we get a member berry here, which is a little bit of a deep cut. This is Cameron Bloom, which was the fiance of Mirai. He was like this side six bureaucrat who was all very very like we are the space Switzerland. We will be neutral. We are not going to be take part in your war. And he's basically rose up the ladders of power. He's now like an aide to the president of the colony, so he's got a lot of sway. People are kind of following him, and so he's basically a politician there. Of course, he happens to know Shalia Bull, who's basically telling him like, "Hey, don't worry about this. We're totally setting up some stuff here. Don't you worry about this. And I'm just here to like steal all the scenes and be the hunky guy that the attractive older guy that people are gonna absolutely love because we gotta have a good looking suave charismatic male, older character in the show, and he does a good job of this. He's got a good look to him. He frankly looks like a Pokemon professor. And Cameron is like, well, whatever. I'm just here to be a member berry, but whatever. You can go and get your character. And here's Xavier. He got beat up. Oh, here's some bandages. Put that on yourself and quit crying. We're gonna go sit down at the bar. We're gonna kind of pout and kind of. You can tell me about how you had the Gundam stolen from you by a schoolgirl. There you go. There's your band-aids. I'm sorry, not band-aids. Adhesive bandages, because the other one is trademarked. Which, yeah, fair enough. It shows that he's a good leader who will look out for those under him. He's not. It certainly doesn't seem like he's one to waste those that work for him. He learned a good bit of respect from Char, who had a great bit of admiration. Never mind the fact that Char would, of course, never betray anyone in his life, but it at the very least had a good impact on Shalia Bull. So they decide to go to the bar and they're going to go sit down, and they're going to go have their talk, which brings us back over to the Pomeranians with Machu, and she's like showing up like, hey, don't worry guys, I can totally solve this. I've got the solution, but you have to trust me. Because I'm the only one who's actually piloted this Gundam. I know how to use this thing. I can do stuff with it that you guys could never dream of. Like I have all kinds of crazy reactions with it. Don't worry. So it's gonna go down, and it's interesting because we get a little bit of touch onto some of the Minovsky particles that have affected that we've seen before in the shows, and it explains it enough to be able to justify some stuff. So, for example, for anyone who doesn't know, the Minovsky particles are basically what allow the mobile suits to be able to function, do what they do in space. Which also have, as a byproduct, they have a tendency to interact with radio waves and prevent the ability to transmit information like that. So, anytime you see missiles being launched, or you see, mobiles move around, well, in this case, the missiles being launched have to be like wire led, because you can't, because it just messes with the electronics. You can't send a signal out to them, and so a lot of combat has basically had to get pulled back to sight level, because you can't rely on radar. These particles basically act as a giant cloud that prevent all of that. So we get a little bit of touch in explaining what's going on with this, and we get to see Machu in her suit, which by the way, again, great use of colors to it. And we kind of jump along here a little bit, and then we kind of cut back over to the bar where Shalia Bull and Xavier are sitting. And yeah, apparently the clan battles are so popular that like basically people can basically go on to like Space Tube and, oh, by the way, here's this week's clan battle. Like, it's totally underground, but guys, don't worry about it. And so we keep going. Don't worry, we're gonna trust them. She's the protagonist. She's got the power. We got the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We are in space. We are battling. And everyone's realizing, oh crap, they have the red Gundam and the white Gundam. These guys stole it from us. Shalia Bull's, don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. I'm the suave older man. I know what I'm doing. Trust the plan. We don't know the plan yet, but trust the plan. All we could do is sit back and watch. And he just has that great. Sorry, I'm gushing over him a little bit. Maybe. Anyway. The battle commences, and this is where a lot of that site-based stuff is kind of coming into play, where we're getting some explanations that mobile suits have a tendency to be site-based combat. And so in this empty vacuum of space where you have infinite direction in any way, it's easy to get lost, to lose sight of anything. So to be able to get that first shot off, to be able to get the surprise attack off, it could mean everything. So the importance of having a partner there to help watch your back could be the difference between life and death. because once you get the first shot off, you've effectively lost your advantage of your cover of the surprise attack from the direction. Machu is still pretty new to this, so she's kind of overwhelmed. Like, I can't see that. I don't know the rules. I don't quite understand all this stuff. Which, by the way, as we find out, the rules are effectively rule 1: aim for the head. Rule 2: there are no other rules. That's clan battle for you. They're gonna show up. Some people use machine guns. Some use flash bombs. It's all kosher, baby. And so let's see. Fight goes on for a good little bit here. All looks pretty good. And I was critical at first of the Gundam and this redesign with the GQuuuuuuX. Seeing it in motion, seeing and kind of sitting on it a little bit, I've come to appreciate it more. Like little things like the arms in the back that move around, those those make sense in space more because because if you're kind of floating through the vacuum of space, just this idea that you need to be able to fine tune your movement in any direction. You're gonna need some jets that can move around on you. It makes sense. It tracks. I can get behind this. It's just a bit of a departure from what I'm used to with the franchise, so it works, and at the same time, it's just a little bit different. She's getting her ass kicked, like, oh my god, what are we doing? She doesn't know what she's doing. And at one point, the axe in her hand just gets knocked away and it's flying through space. So it's like, oh, it's gone. That thing's gonna go and go and go. We've lost it. And then we get that flash. We suddenly get the hint of that, like oh, we're the flash of the residents, the Kira Kira as they call it, as her and Shuji. I he's guys, it's a new character. I'm gonna slowly get used to the name. Shuji, our blue-haired boy in the red Gundam, who likes to paint. He's talking her through this. Like, don't worry, we have this connection. I'm gonna help. I'm gonna be there for you. You can trust me. With which they use it to, keep going. And oh, hey, there's that axe I mentioned before. As they manage, as with everything's going on, it's like they manage to tap into that power, and as sort of the idea goes, like you could reach across for communication across vast distances. Is one of the big things that the power seems to do. So it's the Force. It kind of let them innately, I guess, realize where the axe is at, and so they were able to take advantage of this and leverage it into being able to get this attack off. Well, they get that. The thing is, she gets stuck in one of the other Zaku's head, but then her back's exposed, and so Shuji shows up with his big old wrecking ball and manages to bam hit the other guy, and as they take the heads out, they eliminate them, and realize like, oh, we got this. We can do this going forward. So now we just have to survive. And now we'll have to sit and wait. But all things considered, episode 3 is off to a good start. I kind of like where we're going with this so far. Sort of the highlights for me, of course, the big battle is great. I've had to kind of stop and think about this because I'm so used to certain things with it, like with the new types. But stopping to think about it as these are kids that don't know this stuff. This hasn't been widely passed out to the public, so why would they know? It's resonating for me more, and I'm appreciating it. That said, I still want to know where we're going to go forward, because next time we're going to find out a little bit more. Like there was mention of aces. We still got to find out what happened with Char. I want to see what's going to go on with Shalia Bull here and the Zeon forces. Are they just going to sit back and let these civilians hold on to it? What's their plan going to be going forward? And but the thing is, it's ultimately going to tie into the Char stuff because how did Shuji get the red suit? There's a lot kind of being tied up here, and I want to see where this is going. Um, all things considered, it's got me kind of going forward. I'm here for it. Uh, so guys, yeah, we're gonna do this one take. I guess until next time. Maybe I'll try to put this out a little bit later, a little bit sooner, not like the day before the next episode airs. But until then, guys, be good to yourselves. Take care. Let me know what you guys think. Am I crazy? Am I just reading too much into it? What do you want to see more? Because so far I'm intrigued. But all right, guys. Until next time. Uh, yeah. Do the things. Let me know what you think, and keep going.